Well, Miami's been in the ACC for 25 years now, and they haven't won the ACC once. But there is somebody who has won it at least once and has more than Miami. That team is South Carolina. Oh yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Badass here. I hope you're all having a great day. I know I am. Um, be Make sure if you're not subscribed, you go ahead and press that subscribe button. If you haven't already, it really does help me out. It's free to do. Um, I really would appreciate it if you did that. Also, be sure to comment down below who you want me to predict next. That's where I get these ideas from. Um, but today we're doing Miami's 2025 schedule. Now, you guys know what I do with these predict videos. I go through each week and I give you a win or a loss prediction. I'm not one of those people that just puts out a record. That's lame and really easy to do. Anybody can do that, even you guys. That's easy to do. It's not easy to predict wins and losses for a team. Even though it may sound easy, it's not easy. Um, but let's go ahead and recap Miami's 2024 season. Now, I, I, I mean, Miami, they had a good year. They went 10-2, but their defense just, it was horrendous. I mean, it was awful last season. One of the worst defenses last season. They could not help out their offense. Miami's offense last season was probably one of the best offenses Miami has ever had, if not the best offense. Uh, and that offense is what carried them to those 10 wins in the regular season. Uh, their first four games, they won, pretty convincingly. They beat Florida week one in the swamp. Obviously, they demolished Florida there. Florida just wasn't ready for that, sort of competition. Um, and then they faced three easy teams. But then after their first four games, they started getting into conference games, and that's where we started to see, their defense not look that great. Like Virginia Tech, they only beat Virginia Tech 38-34. Um, Obviously, if you didn't watch that game, towards the end of the game, I believe there was like 4 seconds or something like that. Virginia Tech threw a deep pass to the end zone. I can't remember if they called it a catch and then overturned it or called it incomplete and then confirmed that. But the receiver, he had the ball in his arms. People thought, oh, Virginia Tech just won. Refs ended up calling it incomplete pass. Miami sneaked out of there like with one of the probably worst wins they've had last season. It's just, Virginia Tech just was not that great of a team last season. They barely sneaked that. They barely sneaked out of that game with a win 38-34. The following week they faced at California. California was controlling that game for majority of the game. They were they were doing everything right on defense, offense for a majority of the game, and then Miami's offense all of a sudden it started to wake up and they started getting points. But Miami only won that game at 39-38. So I mean that's two close wins versus two really bad teams in Virginia Tech and California. They beat Louisville, which I think was one of the best games last season. They won that game 52-45, if I'm not mistaken. Then they went on to beat rival in Florida State, beat Duke. They took their first loss at Georgia Tech, and it felt like last season for Miami. It felt like it was a matter of time before them playing with fire eventually caught up with them, and it caught up with them at Georgia Tech. They lost that game 28-23. I think that was the score. They just it was bound to happen. They were playing with fire with some of the worst teams and all that, and it was a matter of time before somebody beat them and proved to just about everybody that it's only their offense that is carrying this team. So they took their first loss at Georgia Tech. The week after that, they faced Wake Forest, another pretty terrible team. Rebounded with a win there before they ended off their regular season with a heartbreaking loss to Syracuse. That that blew any chances that they had at not only the ACC title game but also a playoff berth. And that seems like what Miami has done. Within these past few seasons, all that they've had a few chances to maybe make it to the ACC title game or something like that, and they blow it. It's like they always find a way to blow a chance at making it to an ACC title game, making it to the playoffs and all that. And I know many people may think, Mario Cristobal, he's not a good coach and all. He's a good coach. I mean, I can sort of understand he does have a few head scratching, moves and all that. Obviously, you look at a few years ago, had that, questionable call, that fumbled and lost game to Georgia Tech, I believe it was. Um, so I mean, yeah, I know he has, maybe a few head scratching, you know, calls, but nothing can take away from the fact that he's a good coach. He's one of the best recruiters, honestly, A plus at recruiting. He did it at Oregon, and he's now doing it at Miami. Um, but I mean, uh, that was just a heartbreaking loss for Miami versus Syracuse. If they won that game, obviously would have made it to the AC title game. If they would have won that, they would have been in for sure. Even if they would have lost that, they would have still potentially maybe made it. So I mean that was a heartbreaking loss. They made it to the Pop Tart bowl game where they faced Iowa State, I believe it was. They lost that game. Cam Ward started that game, but then he quit at halftime. I'm not gonna sit here and complain about that and say that he did anything wrong. I mean, a lot of people were saying that it was a planned thing and all that, which it may have been. It don't really matter though. Just a lot of people, you know, said it was planned and all that, which it's whatever. But they lost that game, the Pop Tart Bowl, so they went 10-2 in the regular season, and they went 10-3 overall with that third loss in the Pop Tart Bowl. Um, so I mean, a good season, but at the same time, you got to look at the reason why they won 10 games. And like I said, it was all because of that offense. No credit at all to the defense. They were terrible. And nobody can say they were even half decent because they weren't. They were terrible. They couldn't help out their offense. They couldn't get off the field. Couldn't get stops. Couldn't get turnovers. Couldn't get third and longs to put them in better position to get off the field. They just couldn't do anything for their offense. And I mean, if you look at this team this season, I mean, they're going to be pretty good again on offense. They do lose obviously Cam Ward, which he was an amazing player for Miami last season, phenomenal year. So that's going to hurt and all that. But they did go out in the transfer portal and get Carson Beck from Georgia. Now, a lot of people are thinking Carson Beck ain't going to be that good and all that, whether that's coming from Georgia fans or anybody else. He's a good quarterback and all that. Now, is he going to do what Cam Ward did? No. Is he going to be exactly like Cam Ward? No. So, I mean, if you're wondering if he's going to be exactly what Cam Ward was and do what Cam Ward did, no, that won't happen. He's not that good of a player to replace a player like Cam Ward, but he's still a good enough quarterback to where if you build around him, you give him good receivers that don't lead the country and drop passes, and you give him a good offensive line and a good defense, he can lead you to where you want to get. He's still that good. He's still that good enough as a quarterback. Uh, he did injure his shoulder, I believe it was. I don't really know too much about those injuries. At least I haven't, heard a whole lot about players with those injuries. So I mean, I don't really know what the recovery situation is with those injuries, but uh, I still think, Prospect. I still think he's going to put up video game numbers this season. I mean, if he can put up 35, plus passing yards against SEC defenses, I can't imagine what he can do against some lower class defenses in the ACC. Uh, I mean, if you look at other positions, though, like running back, you got Mark Fletcher Jr. coming back. He had a good year. You got another running back in Jordan Lyle come back. He was a pretty good freshman, proved to be a pretty good freshman last season for Miami. He's returning as well. You look at the offensive line, you got a few key pieces coming back, and Matthew McCoy, um, and Inez Cooper. Is that how you say it? Inez Cooper? I think that's how you say it. I think that's how I say it. Weird first name, but you got him returning. Francis Maui Goa. Some of these players, I don't even know if I'll attempt to say their last name. If you're a Miami fan or you know them, then you know them. Some of these players just have some weird names. But I mean, and then if you look at like receiver and all that, they got a few receivers, come back. They did lose that Xavier Rechpito. Uh, I think that's his name. I know his first name is Xavier. I may have mispronounced his last name, but he was a fun receiver to watch for Miami last season. It seemed like whenever they needed a guy to rely on, he was their guy. And it also felt like when they were in third and long and all that, and nobody thought they were going to get the first down. It almost felt like he would just go down to however many yards they needed, stop there, catch the ball, and then get even more yards. He was a really fun receiver to watch for Miami last season. He went to the draft, so you lose him. But I still think the receivers are going to be pretty talented this year. So I think you're going to be good for receivers. So your offense looks like it's still going to be good. I don't see it being like last season. Like I said, last season was one of the best offenses Miami's had, if not the best. But I do think this year your offense is still going to be good enough. Uh, but I mean, you look at the defense. That's where this team really needed to improve. You do have a few good defensive players returning. You look at like the defensive line. You got Ruben Bain Jr. coming back. You got Ahmad Moten. Like I said, some of these players' names I can't pronounce. So if I'm mispronouncing it, don't be getting all pissy with me and all. I don't know how to pronounce some of these names, so bear with me. But Ahmad Moten, Akeem Messiter, Justin Scott, David Blade Jr. You got defensive players like those. You look at like linebackers returning. Wesley, I'm not even gonna pronounce the second name because I don't think I can pronounce it. You look at secondary, OJ, Frederick Key Jr., Damari Brown, and Jaden Harris. So I mean, Miami does have some talented players on defense returning. They have some talented defensive players returning, but the biggest question about this team is did they go out in the portal and get even more defensive players to help this defense get to where it needs to be? Because I mean, here's the thing. Because I mean, like I said about Carson, I think he's going to put up video game numbers. But that's not going to matter at all. As a matter of fact, it's not going to matter at all what that offense does if this defense does not get improved this season. Because if this defense don't get improved, Miami's going to do just like how they did last season. Either miss the playoffs or make it in and then lose. Because I mean, let's face it, Miami's team last season is sort of like a Lincoln Riley team. Lincoln Riley, obviously, he's a good offensive mind. He always has an elite offense and all that. But Lincoln Riley, every time he's been to the playoffs, he's lost first round because he only had an offense. He had no defense. So he couldn't win the game. That pretty much was Miami's team last season. Good offense, shitty defense. They more than likely would have lost their playoff game because they had no defense to help out that offense. So, I mean, it's probably good that they missed playoffs because it probably wouldn't have been that great for them. But that's going to happen this season too if the defense does not improve. So I mean, that's the biggest question I have about this Miami team. It's not their offense; it's their defense. Did they do enough to make that defense better? We'll have to find out. So let's go ahead and get into the schedule right here. Um, you start off week 1 versus Notre Dame. I I don't really know if Miami could have started off with a tougher game, honestly. Notre Dame, obviously, they made it to national title game last season. Had a pretty damn good year. They do lose, quite a bit of talent, to the NFL, just like a bunch of, other teams like Ohio State, Georgia, Bama, Oregon, all that. Um, but I think this Notre Dame team is going to be better than it was last season. I think, honestly, the thing that sort of held back that Notre Dame team last season was Riley Leonard. Now, I wasn't really the biggest fan of Riley Leonard, and before you guys think I'm hating on him and all that, I'm not hating on him. I thought obviously he did good enough to lead them to the national title, so I mean I can't really talk shit too much about him. But I just think the quarterback that they're gonna have this year in Carr, I think that's gonna be better than Riley Leonard because I mean Riley Leonard he was more of like a running quarterback. He wasn't really the sort of pocket passer quarterback. At least you didn't see him pass it really a whole lot, especially against like some good teams. You mainly saw him, get behind some tackles, get like 4 or 5 yards gain and all that, maybe break away for like some 20-yard gains and all that last season. So I mean, I'm not gonna shit on Riley Leonard. Like I said, there's nothing really to shit on him about, but I do think their team is gonna be better this season. I like their receivers. I think their offensive line is gonna be good. I think that defense will be good again this year. Obviously, they got one of the best players in the country returning, probably the best running back. I don't really know if there's a better running back than Jeremiah Love this season. Um, I just think this Notre Dame team is going to be really good this year, better than last season. And I think Notre Dame wins this game. I know it's I know this is a home game for Miami. I think this Notre Dame team is going to be really damn good. And like I said, I don't know if you could have started off with a harder game versus any team. So I mean, I think Miami loses their first game. But then your next 2 games against Bethune Cook and South Florida, I think those are easy wins. Um, After those 2 games, you face Florida at home. Obviously, if you saw the Florida prediction, I had Miami win this, so I do have Miami winning this. Now, do I think it's going to be like last season where, Miami beats them by like 20 some points? No, I don't think that's going to happen, but I just don't think Florida is in the position right now to beat, a team like Miami. Like I said, I know I have question marks about Miami's defense and all that, but I don't think Florida's is any better than Miami's. I really don't. Um, and and I'm going to talk a little bit about Florida here. I know it's saying a Florida prediction, but there's a bunch of people, saying, if DJ Lagway, stays healthy and all that, Florida's going to be a playoff team. No, the fuck they're not. No, they're not. No. Okay, and I can't remember in the Florida prediction video if I said DJ Lagway is the only good player that Florida has. If I did say that, my mistake. He's not the only good player, but he is the best player on Florida's team. There's no denying that. Any Florida fan that says otherwise is a fucking moron. Nobody can tell me that DJ Lagway is not the best player on Florida. And last time I checked, this is a team sport. This ain't just, oh, we got a talented quarterback. Okay, we're going to make it to playoffs. We're going to do something special and all of that. And also, like I said, people are saying, "Oh, Billy Napier's guy and all, he's a good recruiter and all that." No, he's not a good coach. What I don't understand is why fucking people think that Billy Napier is the head coach for Florida. What I want somebody to tell me what has he done at Florida to make me and others think that he's the coach there. He hasn't done anything good. What? Maybe every season he's gotten one like good win or something? Whipty fucking do. That don't matter. That don't matter. He is not the coach for Florida. He is not. Nobody can convince me otherwise, and nobody can tell me I'm wrong. He's not the coach, and your team is not there yet to, make it to the playoffs. Like I said, as long as Billy Napier is the head coach for Florida, there is no fucking way they are making it to the playoffs, and there's no way they're going to even, sniff to being close to a fucking national title. I don't understand what's so hard about that for Florida fans to fucking understand. It's pretty common fucking sense. He's not the guy, and your team is not there yet. I'm not saying, that Florida is, a completely shitty team. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is they are not even fucking close yet to competing with the big boy schools. They're not. And people can be like, oh, well, if Lagway was, healthy in that Georgia game, they would have won. No. No! They wouldn't have won. You want to know why? Because they didn't have a good team. That's what this is, a team sport. It's not just a quarterback, sport. No, you need a team. Florida does not have a team to go on the road and beat Miami. They don't. I think Miami wins this game. God damn, I got worked up now. After the Florida game, you have a bye week before you face Florida State on the road. Obviously, Florida State, they went out in the portal. They got, a few, actually not a few. They got 23 fucking players in the portal and all that. They're a fucking goddamn mess right now. I do think Florida State's going to be improved, but I don't, see them, doing anything special this year. I think you win that game against Florida State. Then after the Florida State game, you have another bye week. After that second bye week, you face Louisville at home. I think this is going to be another good game this season. I don't know if it'll be sort of a high-scoring game like it was last season, but I do think this will be a good game. Obviously, Louisville's coach, Brom, I think he's one of the, like I said, and I think it was Clemson's prediction video that I made. I think he's one of the most underrated head coaches. I really like what he's doing with this Louisville team. It seems like nobody is giving Louisville credit at all, and they've been a pretty damn good team. Like I said, I like what they are doing down there. They know their identity, so they know who they are, and they're not afraid to play the way they want to play. And most of the time, how they play, it works. So I do think this is gonna be a really good game, but I just think Miami's just a little tad bit better in this game, and I think Miami's going to win this game. After the Louisville game, you face Stanford at home. Stanford, I think, is going to be one of the worst ACC teams. I think you win that game. Then after the Stanford game, you face at SMU. I'm going to have you lose this game. I think it's the fact that it's a road game. I think SMU is going to be a pretty good team this year. I don't think they're going to be anything, shocking or anything like that. I think they may do sort of about how they did last season. I still think, SMU is a pretty good team. I do like their team. I like their coaching staff. I just think this will be a little bit of a tricky game, and I think you lose this game at SMU. Then the week after, you have another home game versus Syracuse. Obviously, Syracuse had a pretty good year last season. With Fran Brown's first year there, they had a pretty good year. They went 9-3. Kyle McCord did pretty well. Like I said, they had a pretty talented receiver. I can't remember his name. He did good, but they lost both those players. I think Syracuse can still be a pretty, decent, maybe good team. But I think Miami's a better team and it's a home game. So I think Miami wins this game. The week after that, you face NC State. NC State's a weird team to me. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's something good or something like that, but they're sort of a hit or miss team. It seems like they just have a sort of on off switch. When they like want to decide, okay, we'll play good this game, we'll play like shit this game, we'll play shit this game, then we'll go back to playing good. They're just a weird team to me. They sort of flip flop, back and forth with whether they want to decide to play good or play bad. But I think Miami's a better team, and I think they win this game at home. Um, then you have two road games to end off your season at Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. So at Virginia Tech, obviously you almost lost them last season. Um, uh, but I just think the Virginia teams, like Virginia Tech and Virginia, I'm done thinking that any of them are going to be decent. I thought maybe last season Virginia Tech would maybe be pretty decently good. They weren't. So I'm done. Thinking that any of the Virginia teams are going to be great. I think Miami wins this game on the road. Um, then they finish off their season on the road at Pittsburgh. I, I mean, Pittsburgh a few seasons ago they had a pretty good year and all that, but ever since then they've been at best decent, maybe. But I just think Miami's a better team in this game. I know it's another road game. Pretty tough to play back to back road games, but I think Miami wins this game as well. So I mean, there you have it. I got Miami going 10-2 with losses to Notre Dame and at SMU. I can maybe see them winning the SMU game and maybe losing a game maybe later on the season or maybe lose to like Louisville. But there's just not that many games I could see Miami losing. And most of their tough games, I think they more than likely win either most of them or sort of split with them. Um, but I have Miami going 10-2. Be sure to comment down below how much of a fucking absolute fucking retard I am. And as always, have a good morning.